Good afternoon. I'm Carl Garth, and welcome to the Champion Chat with Councillor Alison Champion. Good afternoon, Alison. How are you today?
I'm great, Carl. Thank you for asking, as always. How about you?
Oh, Alison, the weather's warming up. I'm very happy, thank you.
That's good. If that's all it takes to make you happy, mate, that's great. That's nice and simple.
So, Alison, one of the things that I've been noticing is it's getting very close. I can see it's almost completed. The new Rosanna Library hopefully looks like we're on track for opening next month in February.
Um, yes.
Yeah, as we can see
So excited.
here.
I'm
Well,
so
we've got some
excited.
images of the build here. It's looking pretty good. We've
Yeah.
even got some videos from that have been done through the last 12 months, seeing the stages of it, and oh, we must be close.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're nearly there. There the opening actually sat in our diaries for December.
Hmm.
And we were doing really well, and then got the notification that the staircase, the specially designed and constructed staircase, so it's actually offsite, um, is still underway.
Right.
And I've just gone, oh,
I've seen some of the renders of that staircase, big, broad, sweeping. Anyone would think we're in some sort of Southern American plantation.
yeah, or just a seven-star hotel, or that kind. It's that kind of level. Um, and so because there's that slight delay, I am actually expecting a magnificent piece of architecture.
Yeah, fair enough. If you're gonna, if hey, you'll wait for quality, but it better be quality.
Yeah, yeah. And I've let the officers know that.
And Alison, for you, this has got to be pretty personal because I mean, you've been involved in this project. You're on the board of the Yarra Plenty Library
Mhm.
um, group.
Mm.
You must be thrilled for
Oh,
this
very
journey.
excited. Yeah, we're very, very excited. Uh, I've been in the conversations, well, as a councillor. So just to be clear, um, three councils um, fund and support the Yarra Plenty Regional Library. So there's
Hmm.
Banyule, Whittlesea, and Nillumbik. So we three councils work together. We have two councillors from each council on the board, along with one senior officer from each council, and obviously the Yarra Plenty Regional Library senior staff, including the CEO. So we're on the board, and I've been on the board since 2019,
Okay.
um, and so I've watched, been involved, made the decisions around a variety of things that connect the board, and for the library service that we provide, including the business model. So that's a conversation in the background. And we have a new CEO starting the end of November. So
Right.
yes, I've been involved in that. And then as a counsellor on Banyule, been involved in the conversations around the library, the construction of the Rosanna Library.
Yep.
So it is a long time coming. I say a long time coming. It's I think 2019 we were starting the conversation, or 2020 or something like that. We were starting the conversations.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in those conversations for, yeah, certainly the time I've been on the board, and it's been a privilege.
Absolutely. You would have seen
Yeah.
the first initial concepts in 2021, the drawings.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you're seeing the reality. And, as you say, as you said before, I know there's been some minor delays in the project, but I do believe that that hasn't actually affected council's original budget for this.
No, no, no. That's still there. That's still the same. That hasn't changed. And the key thing for me, in making the decision about going ahead with this library, the key thing is that, in order to provide more in our council's budget for the rest of Banyule, we needed to work well, collaborate with Woolworths.
Hmm.
So it's worked out very, very well. So we're collaborating with, a private enterprise, and that's allowed for, I still remember sitting in the room having the conversation around do we or don't we? And the one thing that made me think this is worth it, I mean, there are a variety of reasons why it's worth it, and we'll talk about those. But at the time, it was coming down to the fact that if Banyule had to rebuild the library and was its own entity to do that, there would be $11 million less in the budget.
Right.
For the whole of Banyule community. So by partnering with Woolworths, we've created $11 million worth in our budget for other things. Yeah.
Okay. That's a good win-win. And I think there's actually, over the years that I know there's been a little bit of angst over the partnership with Woolworths. And I think there's also been a little bit of a misconception about the land itself, because as I understand it, yes, Woolworths are building the library, but the land and the library is still owned by Banyule Council.
Yeah. So Woolworths is doing what we call creating a warm shell. That's what you're seeing now. That's the shell. So they're all, that whole block from the the
theatre,
all of the theatre through to the street on the corner, that is all of that land is being redeveloped by Woolworths. That was the agreement, and they're just creating what we call a warm shell for council, and then council takes over and fits it out.
Okay.
And council owns the land.
Yeah, and to me, that's as you say, you freed up 11 million in the budget. You're getting you're getting the shell of a building, but still, it's a pretty impressive 3-story structure.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yes, it is. And also the rooftop as well. So we can actually, I mean, you could argue it's a 4-story, but, the rooftop, there is opportunity to be on the rooftop for functions, events, etc. Or just sitting and watching.
Enjoying
watching a train, sitting and watching people, sitting and looking at the sunset, sitting and looking at our beautiful Rosanna parklands, depending on where you are on the roof.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Alison, and look, obviously this project, we know that it's been going a few years, and construction itself's been about 18 months to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been using a temporary pop-up library.
Mm.
Now, have we seen any drop-off in the patronage over that interim period where we've had to use the pop-up library?
Across the Banyule libraries, no. Obviously, specifically the Rosanna Library has seen a drop because there are certain services that haven't been able to be provided in that pop-up. Mm-hmm. However, they have been provided in the Watsonia Library and the Ivanhoe Library. And of course, Eltham's just across the border. So, I mean, Eltham is actually my closest library. Right. So the other libraries that are close by have made for those services not available. So if we look at, so really it's just been due to space that we haven't been able to provide everything. So using the alternative libraries, we've had things like click and collect at the pop-up. So that's stayed. Photocopying, printing, scanning, that kind of thing has remained at the pop-up. Free Wi-Fi. That's just a given at libraries now. You get free Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, everybody takes that as almost, where's my free Wi-Fi?
Yep. Go to the library. Be a member of the library. Go to the library. Yep. That's how you do that. And there have been a few computers there that you've been able to book and use, needed, but obviously fewer. Things like, with books like our curated collection, there's been a quiet study space, just not as big as the previous one. That's all. Yep. Yeah, so it's not like you haven't been able to use any library service and the patronage is lower. It's just some things you wouldn't go to Rosanna pop-up for.
Yep.
Over the last couple of years, you're going to another library for it.
Okay. And look, you obviously said space is an issue. And if we look at the old library, the new ones, we can see some of the pictures of the old library here. But the new one is almost double the size, approximately 1,600 square metres.
Yes.
And obviously, you said, space was a reason why a lot of services had to go out to other libraries. But now
Mm,
you're about to have double the space.
mm,
I'm assuming there'll be more services and facilities that are actually available than what we used to get in the old library. Could you
mm.
expand on that for us,
Yeah,
please?
absolutely. I've actually written a list. It's pretty
Okay.
long. I've actually written the list so that I can give you everything that's actually going to be available in the library. So um, this is exciting. This is one of my exciting bits, and you'll like this, Carl. Sound studio. There's
My
a
daughter will love that. Does that include recording?
Yes. So you can do
Oh,
podcasts,
oh, yeah,
sound, just sound in
yeah.
general. I'm sure there'd be music. You could create some music there. So that's exciting. There'll be private meeting rooms, obviously computer spaces. So there are more computer spaces there.
Yep.
There will be more bookshelves. So there's accessibility is obviously a key thing as well. Compared with the 1970s library to now.
Mm,
So things like there'll be a lift as well as stairs, as well as the magnificent stairwell. At the moment, I say stairs. We've been using the fire stairs to get up and down. So there are those
yeah.
wrapped around the lift. And then there's the beautiful staircase in the middle. So the other thing too is bookshelves are going to be more accessible, easily reachable. Open space for story time, which was obviously missing at the pop-up, but
Hmm.
more was created at Ivanhoe Rosanna. So now we'll have open space for story time. There'll be quiet spaces just to sit, read. If you just, or you want to, plug in your own device and do work by yourself, there's that. There are obviously bathrooms. So we'll have bathrooms through there, modern bathrooms, more bathrooms, function area. Like I mentioned, the roof, so space for a function. There'll actually be parking for prams, space to park your prams, and improved storage capacity as well. There'll be IT rooms and IT connections, so a lot more tech, tech connections.
Yep.
There's also, here we go, there'll be a travelator and elevators.
What's a travelator?
That's like it at the airport. You go from one to
Ah,
it's flat.
yes.
It's flat.
Yeah.
It just possibly moves faster than you can walk, or you can feel like you can walk. Yeah. So apparently there are those. And then of course we're going to have the MCH, maternal child health. There's a space in there for that as well.
Mm.
And obviously our magnificent central stairwell.
And look, with all that space, the meeting rooms and that, I'm going to go out and assume here that community groups will be able to start basing themselves potentially out of the library or run their services out of the library.
Meeting rooms. There are meeting rooms there. There are spaces there. And look, there are, sometimes meeting at the library is the best and a neutral space
Hmm.
to connect and have whatever conversations you need to have. So there's obviously going to be a larger and more accessible entrance to the library off the street. So there could be, space there. So and like I said, upstairs, when I say upstairs, I mean on the roof.
Hmm.
The roof's accessible. There's space there. There's space in the private meeting rooms, which you can book. Um, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Alison, obviously, bigger library, more services. How will the library be staffed to meet all these extra needs, all these extra services?
Levels and services. Okay, well, the MCH, Maternal Child Health Service, already has uh, qualified nurses in place and staff in place.
Hmm.
So they would just be located in the library. The library staff, it's another service. So the staff will either, there'll be new staff, or there will be staff who come from other libraries. And that's what we've done as well. While the pop-up's been there, we haven't had full staff. So they've been allocated places in other libraries. So they're still employed. So
Yeah.
they'll just come back to this library. But like any other workplace, if you grow, you need more people, you employ more people. Some people move on. There are people who are retiring.
Yeah.
And so it's time for them to move on. And then there are others who are promoted. It's per any other organisation.
Yeah.
And you're right, there will be more staff required. There does need to be at least one staff member allocated to each level, so each of the three levels.
And is that not just for assistance, but a safety requirement as well? Is it?
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's both. Yeah, both reasons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Alison, we mentioned before the fact that Woolworths the development they've done comes right up to the wall of the Heidelberg Theatre. But I also understand that part of the work they've done has been some improvements to the Heidelberg Theatre.
Mm, mm.
Able to
Yeah.
take us through a little bit of that?
Yeah. So the theatre, because the theatre is quite old, again, as an older building, accessibility was never a key feature when it was constructed. So that's one of the things, the accessibility to the different levels of the theatre is going to be improved. There'll be an upgrade. So the back of house, backstage, there's going to be an upgrade to that, bit of improvement there and various amenities. There will be an opportunity, a creation of an offstage workshop, if that makes sense. So that's working with skills and equipment and so forth. And then just general modernisation throughout. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Mm.
And is there is that going to be part of the grand opening that we're talking about? I mean, can you tell us about the grand opening, the people who could be involved? What can we look forward to?
I've got nothing. Carl, have you got something? If you've got something, you share with us now. I haven't got
No,
anything.
no. Okay, so
I
it's
got
based,
nothing. I got
it's
nothing.
basically,
Here's what I do know is probably going to happen. There will be speeches.
yeah, well, okay. I can do without them. I'm happy
Yeah,
to just cut the ribbon. But come on,
yeah.
what's I'm
Oh, there may
looking
very well be a ribbon. There you go. Look, see, you know some stuff. I
I'm
figured there's
looking
going to be a
I'm
ribbon.
looking for the good stuff. Tell me there'll be a band playing. Tell me there'll be some sort of exhibition or whatever. That's what I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
I hear you. And we haven't been given an agenda. We haven't been given plan. We've been trying to connect with the minister. We've been trying to connect with Anthony Carbine's MP and get him, line it up with his diary. We got that. That was good. We got that, and then the staircase wasn't ready. So there you go. We don't have a specific date yet.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, look, there will be speeches. I don't know that there'll be a ribbon. There might be a ribbon. Who knows?
Well, look, as I said, I do look forward to being there on the day. But I want my band. I want my show. Come on.
Oh, okay, I'll put in a good word for you, Carl. Where's the music?
I'm sure it will be a great day. So really
Yeah,
looking
we're
forward
looking
to
forward to it. Yeah, we
it.
really are very, very excited. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Excellent. Well, look,
Mm.
Alison, that's all we have time for today. I thank you very much for shedding a bit more light and bringing up a bit more excitement for what's going to happen next month. And for all those, if you would like to know more about the grand opening of the Rosanna Library, we've put links below in the copy, which will give you times, dates, and what is actually going to be happening.
Yeah.
So read up, be there on the day. Let's have some
Mm.
fun. Look forward
Sound,
to seeing
sound
you
like
all
a
at the
great
next year.
idea. Absolutely, we are. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Carl. Yes, please look at the links. Please keep an eye out and sign up. A really good thing is to sign up to the Shaping Manual so you get updates. That's a
Mhm.
really good way to see and hear what's happening. Yeah.
Which is in the links below. So everybody, give yourself a chance to be aware of what's happening on.
Mm.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you, everybody.
Always a pleasure, Carl. See you again. Bye bye.